Shut up. Now I'm ready to hear about Lady, what's her name?
Lady Whistledown.
I can't do an accent.
Is this a book that I should do in all English accents?
Oh my gosh, will you please?
No, I don't want to offend British people. Penelope Featherington.
Okay.
Okay, it's like beginning of the 1800s.
Okay.
Penelope Featherington, from the Featherington family. Then there is Colin Bridgerton, from the Bridgerton family.
I see why this is called Bridgerton.
See, they're very popular. There's lots of kids. They're all good looking. They're a wealthy family.
Of course they
but
are.
They're very nice. Like, we love the
Aw.
Bridgertons.
Okay.
They're like the friend that you're like, I want to hate you so bad, but I can't because you're awesome. So, Penelope starts out, prologue-ish, is 16 years old. Colin is like 21.
Okay.
She knows of the Bridgerton family. They're in the park one day. She startles his horse. He falls off his horse into the mud.
Oh no.
And she
Feels awful.
falls in love with him.
Oh, just like that?
Because he was not rude. He like laughs it off and is just a sweetheart. And she's like, you're the greatest thing in the whole world. I love you forever.
Feelings.
Okay. Yes, feelings. Fast forward to the future. Penelope is 28. Spinster.
I can relate.
I just think it's so ridiculous. Colin is 33. He likes to travel the world.
Does she still, like, is she still heavily crushing on him?
Yes, she still loves him, but is also like, I know he's never going to pick me.
But is it like, I know of him and I have a crush on him, or are they like friends?
Colin and Penelope are friends, acquaintances, because Penelope is besties with Eloise, Colin's younger sister.
Oh, okay.
Besties. She's like part of the family. When she gets introduced to the house, she goes into like the family living room, not like the guest living room. Lady Whistledown writes a gossip column that gets released every other day that talks about the ongoings of what they call the Tom, which is the rich people who live in London. Okay. Lords, ladies, whatever.
They couldn't come up with a better name?
I don't know.
The Tong. That's what you said. What is it?
Did you say tongue, like with a G?
That's what you said.
It's D-O-N, ton.
It's not much better, though.
Oh my gosh.
My question still stands. They couldn't come up with
Okay, so Lady Whistledown writes like a gossip column. She'll write like good things, but she'll also write crummy things. Like, if you're a bad person, she'll call you out on it. She like finds out secrets, okay? They love
How?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows who she is.
Oh, okay.
It's like a big secret. So Lady Whistledown writes that Colin Bridgerton is on his way home from Greece or wherever he was. And Penelope's like, oh, that's exciting. But also, like, I'm a spinster. I know he's not going to marry me. Kind of accepted it. She is now the chaperone for her little sister, Felicity, who is still eligible to be married.
Why do I love that name so much?
I know. Felicity. So she goes to balls and is just like, she's more comfortable with herself now because there's not pressure of, like, I have to dance with people. Like, she can just be on the edge, have a drink, watch Felicity, do her thing. So she's, like, more comfortable with herself. She's also changed her wardrobe. She's a little bit of a redhead, kind of auburn. Her mom always dressed her in yellows and oranges and pinks, and she hated it. Her mother has now given up on her, so she's like, I like greens and blues and, like, things that go with my complexion finally. So she's changed her wardrobe. She's feeling pretty good. There are so many balls, like, outings to go to, dressing up balls. I swear there's one every week. I'm gonna mix up where they're at and what ball it is at. But I believe Colin's coming home. Well, he is home. He's all tanned and everything, looking great. They're at Lady Danbury's ball. Lady Danbury, she's freaking cool. She's super rich, widow, raised all her kids. She has this, like, cane she, like, hits people with. Like, she's goals, okay? So a lot of people, like, don't like talking to her, though, because she just, like, tells it how it is, and is just, like, an older lady, I guess, because they get shit on a lot. And
can you blame them? She probably has arthritis. She probably can't sleep through the night.
can you blame the people who are mean to her?
No,
or
can you
her?
blame her for just being grumpy?
Oh, I know. But, like, how amazing will it be when I'm an old lady and I'm like, I don't give a shit. So
I can hit you with my cane, and people just like, oh, she's just old and grumpy.
yeah. So she's amazing. But Penelope, like, she's like, I feel like a kinship with her. They kind of start talking. Lady Danbury likes her too. Like, a little start of a friendship. But Colin comes over and says hi. Colin has always been sweet. All of the Bridgerton brothers have been. He's always asked her to dance. She's always felt it's out of pity, or because his mom asks him to. He comes over and she's eating an eclair, and while she's eating it, all the stuff comes out. And he's like, that's hilarious. Hi, Penelope. Nice to see you. And she's like,
of course,
oh,
that would
my
happen.
Gosh. And so he's like, I dare you to put it in that plant over there. She's like, no. He's like, do it, I dare you. And so she does it, and they have this moment, and they just slowly start to have these little conversations, and they slowly start to become friends, outside of Eloise and stuff. Ball is over with. Next day, or next couple days, she is invited for tea with Eloise and the other Bridgerton ladies, and so she goes there, but they're not home yet. They are, like, shopping or something, so she's let into the family living room. There's a notebook or journal of sorts left out on the table. No one else is in there. She's like, who would leave this here? I wonder what it is. Okay. She starts reading, and she realizes it's Colin's journal from his travels.
Ooh.
Okay.
I feel like he's like a travel blogger. Like,
pretty much. Yeah. So he writes like that, like, tells about how the water is like a bath, and, like, writes really beautifully about Greece. And from a girl who has never been outside of London, is like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So it's so good, she wants to turn the page, and she kind of starts, and he's like, what the hell are you doing? He comes in.
Oh no.
And is furious.
Well,
and she's
I don't blame him.
I know.
If someone read my journal,
yes.
it would be very boring for them.
But she's like, it was just out on the table. I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what it was, and it was, like, really good, so I couldn't stop reading. And he's super mad, and he, like, cuts his hand and gets, like, injured because he was holding the letter opener. I don't know.
Wow, that escalated.
Yes. So
he was so mad he cut his hand.
I'll show you. But, like, he had the letter opener, and he, like, squeezed it or something. And he's like, freaking hell. And she's like, hold on, I'll help you. So she's helping him with his hand, and he's like, I'm really mad at you, but also you said it was kind of good, and I haven't shown anybody my writings before. Would, like, go on, essentially.
Go on.
So she's like, no, it was amazing. I really felt like I was there. You should do something with these, etc. And he starts to open up and is like, no, I don't know. I travel to get away because I don't have a purpose here. I don't.
Oh.
I know. But she's like, you don't have a purpose? She's like, you're a man in 1824 or whatever. You can do whatever the hell you want because you're rich and you're good looking as well. Like, coming from a woman with no prospects of getting married, no power whatsoever, like, you're fine. Kind of tells him that.
Like, woe is you.
Yes.
Like, you're fine.
Yes, she's like, you should not be complaining to me, of all people, who's, like, a wallflower, and people, like, make fun of her, and it's, yeah, so he's like, oh, well,
you're right, I guess.
It's like those exact words, actually, that's what he says. I'm just kidding.
Oh, well, but in an accent.
Oh, well, that was horrible. They kind of get in a fight. She storms out, and she's like, whatever. She's like, I just stormed out on him. Like,
go me.
Yeah. So she's feeling good with that. There's another ball. Penelope and Lady Danbury are talking about Lady Whistledown. they're talking with kind of like a group of people. Everyone's like, well, she could be this, she could be this. Like, well, I don't know what's going on. Then Lady Danbury says, you know what? I'm going to give £1,000 to whoever unmasks Lady Whistledown.
Whoa.
Because she's been around for like 11 years. Nobody has no idea who she is.
And this is the lady with the cane.
Yes.
Okay.
She has money. She's like, I'm bored. This season has been boring.
Entertain me. Oh,
yeah,
it's
everyone,
a boring season.
Everyone is complaining that it's been so boring, and so she's like, okay, £1,000 to whoever unmasked Lady Whistledown. Everyone's like, damn, alright.
Damn.
I'm like really into the Regency talk, okay? So they're at some recital or something, like musical recital. Colin comes up and she's like, I'm sorry I overreacted. Like, you have every right to feel however you're feeling. He's like, no, you're right. Like, I have a lot of opportunity and I can make something of whatever I want to, blah, blah, blah. They kind of like are really like friends now, okay? So they continue to like have their little conversations with like her and Eloise and her and Hyacinth and who is Eloise's sister and Felicity. Like, I wonder who Lady Whistledown could be. Like, is it you? It's like a very talk of the town. And I'm just never gonna get over that. It's amazing.
It shows my little knowledge of Bridgerton.
That's why I read it for you. So, Colin feels very passionately all of a sudden that he thinks Lady Whistledown is Eloise. Because she always has ink on her hands.
Oh, okay.
And she just says, I'm writing letters, like, leave me be.
To who? Potential suitor?
Maybe.
Does she have a story of her own?
Yes, she does. And it's after this one.
Okay.
So he calls on Penelope in her house. And he's like, we have to do something. I think it's Eloise. Like, she's like, it's not Eloise. We're besties. She could not keep that secret from me for 11 years. Like, there's no way.
Wait, this gossip column has been going on for 11 years?
And nobody knows. And it's like every other day. Like,
oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
How is there that much gossip?
I don't know. Things go down.
How is this like a big town? Things go down.
Things go down in London town.
I can't.
Am I Lin-Manuel Miranda? Should I make a Bridgerton musical?
Put it to a beat now. Then the answer
I'm not
is
Lin-Manuel
no.
Miranda. Okay.
We answered that real quick.
Colin calls on Penelope. It's Eloise. She's like, and why are you freaking out so bad?
Yeah.
He's like, she will be ruined. Like, whoever Lady Whistledown is, everyone's gonna hate her. Whoever it is.
Because she airs out, like, all the dirty laundry.
Yes. And Penelope's like, she says good things, too. Like, and she kind of just tells the truth.
It's kind of like Gossip Girl.
Yes. Totally!
Yeah. Because she just shares the truth, but doesn't always paint everybody in a good light. Mm-hmm. That's why they hate Gossip Girl.
XOXO.
Yeah.
Tone in the conversation switches a little bit. I'm sad that I don't remember exactly how.
Did you even read this?
I looked it up on Wikipedia. So
you read the Spark Notes version?
Yes. So I don't know what he says to change the conversation. It drives me nuts that I don't know. But he all of a sudden is like, why do I want to kiss you right now?
Oh.
Like, he thinks that in his head. Like, all of a sudden he's like, she looks really good. What is happening? Because he's, like, always viewed her as Penelope Featherington, friend of Eloise. What's
basically
happening?
Family.
Mm-hmm. Then she says, Colin, will you please just do me a favor and kiss me? And he's like, what? And she's like, I am going to be an old maid. I know that I'm not going to get married. And I could die tomorrow, and I will never have been kissed. She's like, will you please just do me a favor? And he's like,
He's like, oh, this is like a sacrifice. Sure.
Exactly. He's like, I don't want to actually kiss you because I want to kiss you. So he's like, that's not a good idea. Kisses her. He's like,
I want to do that again.
Yes.
Give me more, please.
And when they're done kissing, She's like, thank you. And he's like, no, don't freaking say thank you. I didn't do that out of pity, girl. Like, and he gets, like, super, like, flustered and, like, upset. She's like, what? And he's like, don't say thank you. And he kind of just, like, storms out.
Communication. We need to work on that.
Yeah. And he's like, and why am I acting like an ass? Like, why am I reacting so strongly to this? Like, he's kind of freaked out a little bit. Lady Whistledown comes out with a column that says, this is my last column. I'm retiring.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just like, I'm kind of done with this, so peace out. You won't hear from me again. Everyone's like, dang, like, that's crazy.
Oh.
Then there's another ball.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Another ball. He goes to that ball because he knows Penelope will be there to apologize.
Oh, okay.
For, like, kissing her, for how he acted. She is talking to Lady Danbury, and he goes up to them. He's like, can I have a word with you? But then there's this big announcement. Okay? Big announcement.
I'm, like, so nervous.
I know. Cressida Cowper, or Cressida Toomley, she was married. Okay?
Is she like the Chuck Bass of the world?
Oh, yeah. Straight up asshole. But she doesn't have any redeeming qualities.
Ugh.
Yes. She's, like, bullied Penelope. She is, like, mean girl.
We don't stand bullies.
Mean girl energy, okay? Ugh. Cressida is up there, and she says, I am Lady Whistledown. And everyone's like,
why would she announce that?
Because she wants the money. Her husband died. She married him because he was old, but she thought he had money. He didn't. So she's screwed, because karma. And
I wish karma really worked like that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little slow. She goes up to Lady Danbury and is like, I'd like my 1,000 pounds, because you said whoever unmasked, and I unmasked myself. And Lady Danbury's like, I don't think it's you.
Prove it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Lady Danbury.
I would need some proof before I'm actually going to give you the money. And Penelope boldly is like in conversation with Lady Danbury while other people are there, including Cressida, and is like, it would break my heart if Cressida was Lady Whistledown. And Cressida's like, you are scum between my toes. How dare you say that to me? Type stuff.
Wow, so, good one, Cressida. Never heard that before.
You're obviously not Lady Whistledown.
Yeah, unoriginal. No way she has a gossip column.
So, drama. Colin doesn't get to say I'm sorry. Drama at this ball.
So there's tension. Is it turning sexual tension?
You're about to find out.
Okay. Ooh.
All right,
I gotta stop predicting these things. Ruining that.
You really are so good at it that you do need to stop. Okay.
I impress myself.
So.
Or is it just predictable?
I mean, yes. That's why I've read it a couple times, because it's just an easy romance read. Colin wakes up the next day, realizes he never apologized to Penelope. Things are still weird. So he kind of goes out to look for her, goes to her, or wants to go to her house. He sees her get into a hired cab, which means it's not her family's carriage. It's like some taxi, basically.
Okay.
So she's hiring this random carriage to take her somewhere else. And he's like, the hell? And you're all alone? Like, follow that car type thing. Okay.
Does her family have good money?
Decent, yeah.
So, like, she would have had access to...
Yes, 1,000%. Like, there's a reason she's not using their family carriage, okay? And her, like, hood's all up, like, she's looking sneaky, okay? And he's like, what are you doing? And I have to protect you. He follows her, and she's, like, going to, like, a shady part of London. Like, it mentions, like, Fleet Street. And I was like, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street? Like, Sweeney Todd? Crap. Okay? Kind of scummy area. And he's like, what in the hell is she doing here? There is no way that this is okay. So she goes into, like, this church. And he follows her in, and he's all mad. And he's like, what you doing? And she's like, Colin, and she's like stumbling over her words.
Your journal.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm just here to pray. So, are you here to pray in this church? Like, what you got there? And so she had stuck a piece of paper into a pew, and he's like, let me see that. What are you doing here? She's like, Colin, please. Yeah. And he's like, I need to pray, so I'd like some privacy. She's like, Colin? He's like, get out. I am going to see what that is. And so she's like, oh my hell, and runs out.
She swears in a church?
Yep. And she's sitting on the front steps. Her hired cab is gone, even though she paid him to stay.
Oh, why did he leave?
I think Colin probably told him to get out of here.
God,
she's
gave
like,
him more money.
oh my gosh, now I have to wait for him to come out of the church.
Why couldn't she stay?
I think she was just like embarrassed or in denial that he was about to find out her secret. So he comes out.
Stop burying the lead!
And he comes out, revealed that she is Lady Whistledown.
She is Gossip Girl.
He's like, one, I feel like an idiot because I told you that it was Eloise and I was all upset. Two, you are going to be ruined. Like, what the hell are you doing? And why are you doing this again? You said, Lady Whistledown said she was done. And she's like...
What did he read? What's the hot goss?
It's basically says, Lady Cressida is not Whistledown. Like, over my dead body. Okay, now I'm out. Peace out. Bye.
Okay.
So he's like, you're crazy for publishing this last one. Like, just let her take the fall for Whistledown. And so then no one will know it was you and you won't be ruined. Then she's like, there's no way in hell that I am letting Cressida, my bully for my whole life, get credit for my work. Like, this is my life's work. Like, this is the only thing I have to show for the world. I am proud of this.
Paid good money for it?
Yeah. Because everyone pays for it. She's like, I make a living. Like, this is mine. And I am not letting her, of all people, take it. He's like, but Cressida is like, she's different than you. She's not going to get as in trouble as you would. And she's like, why? Why do you say that? And he's like, because she's prettier than me? Because she's popular? Like, you can just say it. He's like, no. And then he's like, I don't know why everyone doesn't see it, but I think you're beautiful. Like, you're beautiful, Penelope, and I don't know why anybody doesn't see it. I don't know why it took me so long to see it, but you're amazing.
Oh! I don't think I liked that.
Enter the infamous carriage scene. Okay?
Oh.
Gets pretty steamy.
Okay.
He just kisses her. They took the long way home. Lovely David. Kiss, yes. Okay, they don't go all the way, but get pretty dang close. So they're, like, in the middle of that situation, and the carriage is, like, stopped. He's like, what are we doing? Oh my gosh, okay, we're in front of your house. Great. This isn't great. So
what did I just do?
So he's like,
drunk on
is my hair okay? Puts his shirt back on.
Oh,
he's like,
oh.
Yes. So the carriage is stopped, and they're like, okay, let's get presentable, because
we're here.
He says, do I look okay? Like, am I presentable? She's like, yeah, but you're not, like, I can just go in. It's my house. He's like, I'm going with you, of course. She's like, why are you going with me? He's like, are you going to marry me or not? And she's like, what? Because he is a gentleman. They did stuff. And so she's like, okay, you're marrying me because we did stuff. Okay. All right.
Oh, that's like...
It's like, kind of like, she's like,
it kind of like soils the situation.
Yes. So, but that's her thoughts on the matter.
Yeah.
And that's like a reason for him, but not like, you know. So they go upstairs, and there's this whole sequence of her mother doing anything she can to like, oh, you want to marry Felicity? He's like, no, I want to marry Penelope. She's like, why would you want to marry Penelope? Like, type vibe.
Ugh.
She's like embarrassed of that. And he's like, you idiot, I am marrying Penelope. I don't want to marry Felicity or any of your other daughters. Like, I want to marry Penelope. This is happening. She's like, oh, okay, you're calling freaking Bridgerton. That's freaking great. I didn't think Penelope was going to get married at all. So, they're engaged. Okay?
Fuming.
Yes. They're engaged. And Eloise and the Bridgertons are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, came out of nowhere, but alright. Lady Danbury's like, good job, girl. Like, I am so rooting for you.
I love their friendship.
They're so cute. Penelope is like, I know we're engaged. Things are good. Eloise says, like, did he tell you he loved you? And she's like, no, like, it's not like that. She kind of feels like, I know I'm gonna love him more than, like, but I'm thrilled that we're getting married still. Like, he's my best friend and everything. So he is so sweet to her still, and is like, they, like, are alone in their living room, and he, like, still wants to, like, kiss her and make out, and she feels very liked by him and very, like, okay, this is gonna be good, but I don't think he'll ever love me. And he won't really talk about Lady Whistledown stuff. She's like, this is still a thing, like, I want to release that paper, and you don't want me to, and yada yada yada. And he just kind of, like, doesn't want to talk about it. We're at their engagement ball. It's like her triumph, or he says, I want this to be your triumph. Like, I want to show you off in front of everybody and say, y'all are idiots for not seeing how amazing this woman is, okay? At their ball, Lady Whistledown papers are released at the ball.
Oh.
And it's the paper that Colin took from her that she was going to...
How... Okay.
So...
I'll let you explain.
So Colin got rid of that, but Penelope had it memorized, and she...
Rewrote it,
resent it to the
causes
publisher.
Drama.
But she told her publisher to do it on Monday, not at the ball. But the publisher said, we'll get more money if it's at the ball. So he just, like, went rogue, and she's like, freaking hell. Like, this is worst case scenario. So it's the last thing that says, Cressida Cooper, it would break my heart, like, if she was Lady Whistledown, and that's not true, and everything, peace out. And Colin's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you did that. So they, like, waltz, and he's, like, super fuming. She's like, we're gonna get in the biggest fight after this. And she's like, I have a headache, we need to leave. And he's like, agreed, peace out.
But it's their engagement party.
No. So they did everything they, like, needed to do. And then he told his mom, he's like, hey, Penelope's not feeling well. She's like, oh, okay, whatever. So he's fuming, takes her up to his room, because they're at the Bridgerton house. And it's like, private area, we need to talk. He doesn't turn on any lights, so it's like pitch dark. And he's like, this is a longer story than I thought. We're almost done.
The next time I'm mad at you, I'm just gonna turn off the light.
It's intimidating. So he's like, just fuming. And she's like, can we light a candle? Like, yo, weirdo. So they light a candle. And at one point before the ball, he goes to his sister Daphne.
Oh.
And he's like, how do you know it's love? Like, I think I love Penelope. I think I could get there, but, like, I feel like it should hit me like a lightning bolt, and it kind of hasn't. And she's like, I don't know. She's like, it's different for everybody, and it's rarely like a lightning bolt. Like, it's rarely like love at first sight. It kind of, like, grows slowly. So he's, like, grappling with that this whole time, but, like, knows that he wants to spend his life with Penelope and everything. But while they're arguing in his bedroom, he realizes that even though he is so furious with her, he would do anything to keep her safe and wants to spend the rest of his life with her, wants to do everything with her, wants to stay close to her. And he's like, I love her. I totally love her. And then the mood totally switches to
I love you. ... And ...
Yes. ... Nicola Coughlan, who plays Penelope, talks about this a lot, is that the intimacy scenes are not just, like, spicy sex stuff. Things happen with their conversation and everything that really builds on them as a couple. And, like, him telling her, I love you, her telling him...
Wait, so he tells her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she says, I love you, I've always loved you. He says, I know you have, I'm been such an idiot, so blind. I love you too. Lovely thing. They sleep together. So he is like, we're moving up the wedding. Because it was like a month away, and now it's like, we need this to be quicker, okay? Since this happened. Wedding happens. Lovely, lovely. Happy, happy times. After they're married, she's like, we don't really talk about the whole Lady Whistledown situation, like, and he doesn't really ever want to talk about it or bring it up. Finally, he confesses that he's like, I am actually jealous of you.
Oh.
Like, you are this fantastic writer.
I take it back. Remember when I said communication?
Yes.
He's finally communicating.
He's growing.
C is for communication.
He's
and
growing.
Colin.
Yes.
I'm so proud of him.
Because she's like, he's so ashamed of me. Like, that's why he never wants to bring it up. He's so ashamed of me. He doesn't want anybody to know. But really, he's like, I am jealous of you. Like, you have a purpose. Like, that's such an incredible thing of you to do. And you're such a great writer. And she's like, Colin, you're a great writer. And he's like, it actually means more from me that you say that now that I know that you're freaking Lady Whistledown. Like, you're a great writer. So it means something to me that you think I'm a great writer. Okay. Yeah. So then...
No, you're a great writer. No, you are.
You're a great writer. So then they start talking about maybe publishing some of his books. After they're married, she is at her new home with Colin. Colin is out, and Lady Cressida Cowper calls on her and is like, hi, you want to chat?
I know your secret. Oh no.
And she's like, sure, what could this possibly be about? She's like, you messed up because at the ball you said to everyone around it would break my heart if Cressida was Lady Whistledown. And then in the last column, you said, break my heart, whatever. She's
okay,
like,
but that's not a good argument because how many people heard that? So it does not necessarily, that's not incriminating evidence because the real lady, whatever her name, could have heard it.
True. Very true. But Cressida calls her out.
Ugh.
So Cressida's like, I want 10,000 pounds, which is like a crap ton of money.
More than what was offered for unveiling the...
And more than what she even made off of Whistledown.
Oh.
And she's like, no, I cannot pay you that money. She's like, I know you have the money, like, and your husband's a Bridgerton, like, you have a week to pay me the money or I'm going to tell everybody. And she is, like, so upset and so, like, Colin's going to be so upset. I told you so, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. She comes in, starts crying to Colin, and he's like, okay, I'm going to fix this. And she's like, what the hell are we gonna do? I can ask Lady Danbury if she will just take the fall, because I know she likes me, and, like, everyone thinks it's her, type thing. He's like, no, you're not doing that. I have to go to see my brother, Anthony, who's the head of the house, or whatever.
Book 2?
Yes. She's like, what? And he's like, don't worry. There's a ball tonight. Shocker. Get ready for that. Oh, I think his sister's throwing the ball. So, like, they have to go to it. He's like, get ready for that. I'm going to handle stuff. She's like, okay. So, she gets a letter later that day saying, meet my mom and my sisters here. I'll meet you at the ball. I'm not going to make it home. She's like, okay. Meets up with Eloise and the Bridgerton family, and they're like, what's going on? Colin's sending us these messages to, like, stick to you like glue and don't let you near Lady Danbury, and, like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know. He's acting really weird. Like, she doesn't want to tell them everything. So then they get to the ball. It's taking forever. I'm like sick of this story.
I'm loving it. It's because you've read it 3 times.
Yeah. So they get to the ball, and Colin sneaks her away and is like, okay, here's the deal. We're going to tell the truth. She's like, no, I'm going to be ruined. You're going to be ruined. You could never publish your books. And he's like, I know you really love me because you're worried about me and not necessarily you. He's like, but we could move to the country. He's like, I don't care if you're ruined. I think you deserve recognition for your work. And this way, Cressida loses all her power. He's like, this is what we have to do. I talked to Anthony, and he agrees he's going to support us fully, everything. At the ball, he gets on this balcony with Penelope and is like, I have an announcement, okay? Everyone loves Colin, so they're like, oh, Colin Bridgerton, awesome. And he's like, I'm a newlywed, so you all have to humor me in my romantic ways, but this is my new wife, and I love her so much. And gushes lovely about her. He basically tells it in a very grand, well way. She is Lady Whistledown. Like, she's not only Miss Bridgerton, now she is Lady Whistledown. And everyone was silent. And then, starting the slow claps.
Yeah!
is Lady Danbury. She starts slow clapping.
Did she know?
I think she suspected, but it never talks about it. And then Anthony joins in.
Oh!
And then Daphne and all the Bridgertons join in.
I would start crying.
And then everyone starts clapping and cheering.
Is Cressida there?
Yes. And she's like, no! And it's like epic. And he's like, drop the mic.
Bitch!
We'll peace out. And, yep. Lovely. Everything.
Cool.
I always end my stories like, and, yep. So everything is out in the open.
That really is in the book?
Kind of. There's an epilogue. And Colin's like, let's
epilogues.
get out of here. And they didn't see anybody for like a couple days. Okay, so everything's
honeymoon.
Great.
She's pregnant.
Epilogue. She pregnant.
Ooh.
Everything's
I was kidding,
good.
But wow.
Mm-hmm.
I impressed myself.
She's like 8 months pregnant. It's been like
a long
time. And he gets his first copy of his book. And it's like perfect. And everything's great. The end.
Boy or girl?
I don't know. It doesn't say. Yeah.
Do we find out book 4?
Yes, because what I like about these books is that it builds on it. So, like, if you read about Daphne, you'll hear about her and their story in the other books, and so on and so on. So, like, you'll hear about Penelope and Colin in the other books, and yeah, it's just cute. Well done, Julia Quinn. So, yeah, it's just a cute freaking read, and the end.